We're going to play playoff or way off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start with the Falcons. Playoff or way off?
Way off. By the way, in their first 7 weeks regarding the schedule, they face both of last year's Super Bowl teams, back-to-back games on the West Coast, play a road game against Tom Brady, and they have the latest bye in the league, Week 14. This is not a great team. This is not an easy schedule.
The Browns, playoff or way off?
Playoff. Now, the division's brutal, but if Deshaun Watson mostly plays early, 2-3 game suspension, they have the second easiest schedule in September. So even if he missed September, they can compete in those games. And I think with an elite quarterback, Pittsburgh doesn't quite know what they have with Trubisky. I think they're a playoff team.
Cowboys, playoff or way off?
Way off. I know the division's easy. 3 of their first 5 games are against Brady, Burrow, and Matthew Stafford. Now, the schedule's not brutal, but they'll probably be off to a slow start. And this is a team that lost 2 of their top 3 receivers in Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson. It's remarkable how many people are ignoring that they lost Cedric Wilson, one of the better 3s in the NFL. So I don't think they get a scheduling break in terms of ease of it, but September is tough.
The Broncos, playoff or way off?
First 9 weeks of the year. So they have a new coach and a new quarterback. So how's September, October? They have the easiest schedule in the NFL in the first 9 weeks. So it's as if the NFL said, we want this thing in Denver. We're going to put it on TV a lot, and we want it to get some momentum like Peyton Manning's first year in Denver. Let's really ramp this puppy up. Give them, you don't have a lot of brutal games early for Denver, so they got a scheduling break.
Packers.
Sneaky tough schedule. Way off. I think Minnesota wins the division. They have the toughest 5-game stretch in the league on the road for 4 of the 5 games starting in week 5. They also have 5 primetime games, so they have to play sometimes later than scheduled. They got a really bad break in terms of time. They get fewer days off, less rest, and some of their better players are older, so I don't think it was a great schedule for them.
Colts, playoff or way off?
Playoff. Division's not great. Middle of their schedule is not easy, but they do open up with the Texans and Jags. So Matt Ryan's brand new. You're like, okay, let's ease into it. Texans, Jags.
Yes.
Probably start 2-0. New quarterback, new momentum after that disastrous ending. So I'm going to put the Colts in the playoffs.
The Chiefs.
Playoffs mostly because of their talent. Listen, they're not going to have an easy schedule because the division's brutal. Notable opposing quarterbacks, though. They face Kyler, Herbert, Brady, Carr, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Burrow, Wilson. So I've said this before. I'm not shocked if they sneak in as a wild card team. They're a playoff team, but they face the most great quarterbacks in the NFL.
The Raiders.
I don't like the way the season ends. They have the toughest last 5-game schedule, 5 straight games against 5 playoff teams. So that's brutal. But I think they're a playoff team, and I also think their additions will serve them well at key spots. And remember, last year, without great depth, they played really well late in the year. Now they get an offensive coach, not an interim coach, appear to have a competent GM. So I think they're a playoff team.
The Dolphins.
I don't like the way they start. I mean, so I've got a new coach and a lot of new pieces offensively, and they start with the Patriots, Ravens, Bills, and Bengals. It's like, yeah, that's brutal. So a lot of moving parts on the offense. They also didn't get a break. They faced Aaron Rodgers on Christmas, so they're way off.
The Saints.
Way off. I don't know if they got the right coach. I don't think they're great at quarterback. 9 teams on their schedule made the playoffs. Do you know only the Rams have more? And the Rams, the league wanted to make sure the Rams had a tough schedule. So the Saints, with a coach we're not sure of and a quarterback we don't love, 9 playoff teams.
Steelers.
Playoffs, barely. Sneak in, kind of. They have 5 primetime games, so I don't think that's an advantage New England played a lot of those during their run. A lot of late-night games, a lot of primetime games. You become a target. There's more asked of you on primetime games from networks. They face division rival Baltimore in 2 of their final 5 games, so that's their season. If they can split with Baltimore, they're probably in.
The Niners.
I don't like their schedule at all. I think they're way off. I think their schedule in the middle, they face in successive weeks Mahomes, Stafford, Herbert, Kyler Murray. They face 9 elite quarterbacks, and they're not sure what they are at quarterback. I thought their schedule was brutal.
The Seahawks.
Not good. They open way off. They open with Russell Wilson, who's got a bone to pick with him, so that's brutal. Drew Lock against Russell Wilson. They also, once again, because of their division, face 9 playoff teams. So that's like Seattle. Although I do think Seattle is pivoting to, we're very comfortable in our growth process.
Right.
I think Seattle wants the number 1 or number 2 pick. I think they're going to get it.
I mean, they should.
And they've earned it. They've got equity with fans there. They've been very good. So it's like, Jordan left and all the guys left. You get some draft picks. You've earned equity. Your season ticket holders aren't going to bail for a couple of rocky years.
If you're going to rebuild.
Yep.
The Bucs.
Playoff. The schedule early isn't easy. Dallas, Packers, Chiefs, 3 of their first 4. And they do have, this is not great, they have 2 late West Coast trips. Tampa's a long way from the West. So they play San Francisco and Arizona out west. But I think their division's weak and the NFC's kind of weak. And again, if they were in the AFC West, you'd look at those West Coast trips and you'd be like, ooh, that's punitive. I think they're fine because they're going to beat Carolina twice, Atlanta twice, and New Orleans twice. So they'll be able to overcome the West Coast roadies late in the year.
Commanders.
Way off, and they got a huge scheduling break. It's the easiest schedule in the league. There's no other way to put it. I just don't love their team. They also have a weird Week 14 bye. I don't know why the NFL. I guess the NFL has to give somebody a bye late. Like Week 14, what's the point?
Yeah, that's rough.
You don't want it in the first 4, and you don't want it in the last 4. You want it right in the middle, and everybody's getting worn out around Thanksgiving. But that's a way off, not a playoff team. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.